It is a brand new year, but we've got the same old show, Pals Pulls. With the same old pals, we've got Marco,
Wearing the frames.
we've got Tyler.
I see the reference you're making to the future book we're going to be talking about. Good job, Marco.
Thanks.
I don't see the vision yet, but I remain Sean all the same, welcoming you to a new year. And thankfully, very thankfully, we've got new comics on deck. We've got
Count them.
six of this week's biggest books on tap. The industry starting off strong, very top heavy week this week. We've got Absolute Superman number 3.
Let's go.
I told you guys, Jason Aaron, don't count that man out. Batman 156,
Let's go.
Justice League The Atom Project number 1,
Let's go.
Deadpool Wolverine number 1. Don't know how that made the show. The Ultimates number 8.
I like how you say that in setting up the show.
Well, you know.
Yeah, you made the Subway sandwich, Sean.
And Captain America Sam Wilson number 1. So big books from the big two, as it were. Thank you for being here with us today, whether you are live or in the future. We appreciate you choosing us to be your review crew in the new year. Thank you for hanging out. Let's waste no time at all. Let's jump right into Absolute Superman number 3. This is written by Jason Aaron, of course, with art by Rafa Sandoval. And also we've got Ulysses Ariola on colors and Becca Carey on the letters. Now, there have been a lot of questions about the Absolute Superman world. What's different with Krypton? What's different with with Kal-El's parents? What's the big secret of Krypton? And this issue spends almost no time at all in the current time period. It's mostly flashback outside of like the last page or so, and it tells us exactly what happened to Krypton. Apparently it done blown up, but the story that we get in this issue is, to me, not only the best issue of Absolute Superman that we've gotten across the 3, not only is it my pick of the week, but this issue right here proves that this is the book to be looking for. Nobody's been talking about Absolute Superman. Everybody counted this book out. This is the shit. Remember, we're talking Ultimates this week. This is my pick of the week.
It's not just yours. It's mine as well.
There you go.
I think it's the best single issue that Jason Aaron's written at DC.
It's easy to say, yes.
Wow.
I had a lot of fun with it. I think one of the yeah, Sean, you mentioned it's like a big question mark. All right, what's different with this version of Superman? And we got a little bit of it in the last issue, with this cape being this droid and stuff. But the origin we only had little pieces of in the previous 2 issues. This kind of blows the lid off of that and really shows how different this origin is. It almost feels like it's diverted so far away from what we traditionally believe the origin of Superman to be, where it almost feels like a new character, but the right core is still there. Because I've never seen a young Kal-El interact with his parents.
Right.
And that builds character for who this version of Kal-El is in ways that I've never read a Superman book do. Because it's completely different than the Mom Pa Kent dynamic.
Yeah. And I think because of that, it has a more direct impact to Cal. Like
Yeah.
he more readily is accepting and is able to take in his parents' lessons and internalize those things. The moment where the school calls up, hey, your kid's grades aren't great, and it seems like they're gonna scold him, but they build him up. They give him confidence. So it's cool to see that come from them. And to your point on the relationship with Mom and Pa Kent, they were caretakers, and they would give him confidence, but not in the same way. And they tried to make him feel normal. You
He'd
know,
have to hide it. Yeah, it
right,
was it was
right,
fitting in. Whereas,
exactly.
oh, what's Superman's mom's name? Uh,
Martha.
no, his actual Kryptonian mom.
Oh.
Is it? It's
Laura.
Laura.
Oh boy, Freudian with Superman and liking women begin with L. Laura and Jor, like their dynamic is just like, no, you show off who you are.
Yeah.
You be the most super version of yourself, and it's such an interesting tweak on the origin that I'm really enjoying this. This is some good stuff. Feels like a lot of the character work I remember Jason Aaron doing outside of the big two, honestly, or like Vertigo with Scalped. It's very character focused, character centric. Even though there's a alien planet that's on the verge of just exploding, happening on the side, the main story of it.
I was surprised how quickly they got to that. I think it needed that momentum. Like I feel like we've been sitting with these three issues, and we've had a glimpse into present Superman, and we continue to get context into why Cal is the way that he is. So I actually appreciate that, out the gate. Oh, boom! You know what? Plan's blown up. Sorry, that's it. We don't get to spend time with them because I think it's building a bit of tension for how little time he will continue to get with his parents, and ultimately how that affects who he will become at like the man he will become.
And also, it's a whole unknown for me now. I can't even like expect anything to happen anymore. Like the framework is familiar, but like I don't know if I don't know if his parents are actually going to be alive by the end of this.
Hmm.
Like it's veered so outside of the norm of what the Superman's origin is that it's unknown territory for me, and I'm having a lot of fun with that.
Hello, Steve Canaris. What's up, Hillbilly Treasure, who says, hi, new here, just seeing what's going on. Well, buddy, welcome to the party. What's going on is we are here to review comics, as you heard, as you hear. Thank you for joining us. Absolute Overthinker, what's up, man? Good to see you. Absolute Overthinker says, this channel has an amazing history of fantastic episodes. I'm getting to learn comic history and getting to know the pals better. Life is good. He says, he also says, just listen to the DC Implosion deep dive and learned about Jeanette Kahn. Also, just finished the first New 52 deep dive and listened to Sean passionately discussing diversity in comics. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Absolute Overthinker. Really appreciate that, dude. Love when you guys talk about the deep dives. Uncanny Suit, good to see you. Banksy Maine, my man, what's going on? Rami Darwish, good evening to you too. Hecatron, the man. James Jones, what's going on? Atomic Hound, great to see you as always. And Cole, how you doing? Those are just the names I can see right now. Smash the like button if you enjoy what we do here. I adored this issue. It really validates the absolute concept. This is
Hmm.
the issue that does that for Superman. I think maybe the other two books got there a little bit quicker. Some people might argue they haven't gotten there yet. This is definitely that issue for Absolute Superman. Because, as Tyler pointed out, we have very, very little context for Cal's parents as living people. My experience with Jor-El is always, him as a you know a vision, some
Yeah,
kind of
like he's in the
Yeah, you
crystal.
put the
He's
crystal
yeah,
in
a
the Fortress
recording.
of Solitude. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And so to see him actually talk and have agency and do things, to see Laura, I've never seen a line of dialogue from her that I can recall. I mean, she was kind of there in Man of Steel, but to see them as active people was very awesome. To see this family kind of, you know, rally together on a doomed planet, and this be not just them sending their son away, but them saying, let's get out of here together. Let's, let's run because this place is not for us. And these people seem to not care that they're all gonna die. Or more to the point, not care to try to save the planet, the people's planet.
the
and this
people.
and this kind
The
of
people.
just solidifies that this Clark, or sorry, there's not even Clark, by the way. This Kal-El is a Superman of the people.
Mm.
Um,
Yep.
because that's how he was raised. He was there. He was the one saving, the common folk when him and his parents were saving the common folk when the elites were just bouncing without everyone. You know, they were on the first lifeboats off the Titanic. Everyone else is forced to fend for themselves, and that's built into Kal-El's DNA at this point. And it's nice to see that.
I
I like
also
that.
I really love the structure of this arc so far, where it's and Absolute Batman is doing this too because they're going into their flashback issue with 4, where it's not linear. The first 2 issues dealt with, okay, this is the absolute Superman, this is Lois, this is his encounter with, what, that Lazarus group or whatever, and then the third issue goes into a flashback. We need this. I would have been way more frustrated had we waited to get through, the first 6 issues to get to this piece. We need this to understand this version of Kal-El. And also to have more questions, because this issue doesn't end with, the death of Krypton. It doesn't end like that. It doesn't even end with them escaping. It ends with, Cal sort of saying, well, where are we going? And then it flashes to Kansas now, and you see that uh someone, M. Kent, presumably Martha Kent, but is that Martha Kent or is that Laura L? Right? There's so many questions that I now have with this series that open this world up. Are there other Kryptonians that are alive? That
That's a
opens up
big
the
one, yeah.
potential rogues gallery and ally gallery.
Well, even like the police force and on Krypton has the Zod crest,
Right.
so you know like that exists in this world, and whether or not it exists on Earth or at least in the surrounding area, who knows?
Yeah.
Yo, you just wrinkled my brain with that. I didn't even think of. I'm like, oh, weird that they're just gonna show off Martha Kent here. Like, okay, I didn't even make that connection. That's huge.
Yeah, I think they're alive, and I think that they were hiding themselves under, fake names. That's what I
She
think.
looks a little too old,
Yeah,
maybe, but it could be like
Well,
the suit prevented Kal-El from, aging up. Maybe the sun doesn't work the right way. They need to have the suit to be able to survive.
okay. Yeah.
yeah, I think that there are a lot of possibilities. Like, I could be off base, but the fact is that the book is making me think.
Yeah.
The book is making me ask
Exactly.
questions
Yeah.
that a Superman book never made me ask. It's exciting.
And to that point, right? Like there's a moment where Cal just mentions, oh, I've always lived my life under this red sun, right? That motif of red and the sun continues to exist. So I think to that point, a yellow sun, because the colors change. There, it seems like the Kansas Central now, there's like a sunrise, and that looks different than the sunset we see with Cal, where he's like, okay, so where are we going?
Yeah.
It's red sun versus
Yeah.
yellow
Interesting.
sun. Yeah.
And I like that, the arc, this would be arc, yo, that looked badass, man. The spacecraft itself was just like the moment that happened, and Clark even calls out, "Oh, I know, you're gonna shoot me out of a pod." I'm like, yeah, we've seen it all before. And then they whip out that one page. I'm like, oh shit, I was wrong.
Looked like some kind
Marco,
of
did you
like
interrupt yourself right there?
Wait, what?
You were on a sentence and then you said that ship was so cool.
No, it was just that ship was cool. Maybe
it
I
kind of
restarted. I
Yeah.
don't know.
the design of it was really nice too. I was like, oh, what Destiny ship is this?
Yeah, it looks sick. The Rafa Sandoval art throughout this issue is impeccable. I mean, my goodness, the star of the issue is absolutely Laura. First of all, like, look at her, right? She looks cool as shit. She's got that big ass gun. She's got the fire fist. Like, oh my god.
Oh, the gun. You talking about the gun that just shoots lava?
Word.
Then the suit like overtakes her, and then she looks like this. Come on, dude.
That's a Fortnite
Cool.
skin. That's what that looks like.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man. Like, where are we gonna see that again? Like that to me is like that's what Supergirl or Superwoman will look like down the road.
But that's the suit. So presumably Kal-El could look like that if need
Mm.
be.
True. Yeah. Crypto's all over this piece. I love that. Uh there was a part of me that was like, man, and this is something that I don't put on Jason or anybody involved with this. But it's like, man, I wish there was something to make these people feel alien. They just feel like humans in the future. But that is the Krypton gimmick. So I don't blame them. It's just like, man, I just wish there was something.
Do the
Like they got a dog.
they can do the fantasy thing of like just give them pointy ears.
Yeah, yeah. Spock.
Right. Yeah. Matt Fisher with the 499. Hi. Did Darkseid become the Earth or the universe, or did he pull a maker? How did he influence all of this? So, if you read All In Special number 1, and by the way, none of us have absolutely all the answers, right? But if you read All In Special number 1, the idea that I got is that the death of Darkseid sort of like dispersed his energy and created a new universe that is full of his energy and his will, maybe. I don't think it's as much his will. I think it's just his energy has infected this place and made it wild and more violent and unpredictable. That's what I got out of it.
But he is still there in some form or fashion.
How do you know that?
He was there at the end of in that middle page of All In.
That's the future.
Sure,
sure.
sure, but he's still within that universe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We don't have the answers to that.
Thank you though, Matt Fisher, for the 499. By the way, Matt Fisher, do you watch wrestling by chance? I'm just curious because I'm just curious. Please let me know. Yeah, this is the kind of issue that validates the absolute universe's existence. It doesn't feel like a throwaway. It doesn't feel like, oh, let's just have a reason to have a Superman with red eyes all the time and to be dark and gritty. We're 3 issues deep, and we're talking family. We're talking family. We're talking bonds. You know, we've got crypto. Like, this feels right.
What's exciting too is that we have 2 more characters to go through this with, at least, coming up with Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
And with Green Lantern, I mean, you're talking about multiple characters because we already know Hal, we know Sojourner, we know John Stewart. They're all going to be there. So that's going to be a lot of fun, too. I wanted to talk about the Rafa Sandoval art a little bit more. Marco mentioned the reds everywhere, and I really love that motif because it screams danger, right? It screams danger, but it also screams power. And in these final moments on Krypton, there's just red everywhere, explosions, red sun, just red everywhere. And then they bring on the green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And green is death. And that's I love that because that's something that you know as a fan of comics. You know that for Superman, green is death. And green is everywhere here. It's coming up from the ground as a natural gas, just killing everything.
Don't shoot the slime buckets, man. It's gonna blow up.
Yeah, this was phenomenal.
Yeah. I think he continues to do really cool work with like the sand texture of the cape. It was wrapped around crypto. I really like that moment, and what the design of the suit looks like. He has a lot of cool designs here. The policemen that take Jor away, the world of Kandor, right? Like we see the city of Kandor and the design of the skyscrapers, and I really like the reveal that it's all empty, where in our iterations, you know, it was full. It was this world unto itself. And so I also like that as a differing contrast because that means that assuming that ladder theory is correct, you know, we're going to see them in some other form or fashion. So there's a lot of play in, for me, just the design aspects from Sandoval.
And I had to give props to Sandoval for drawing a good dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's hard. Not what people are used to, and his crypto is fucking good. It's a good
Yeah.
crypto, and you call it the cape with crypto too. I'm a little worried about crypto being around right now.
Nah, he's gonna make it, dude.
He better. That might make me drop a book, honestly. But knowing that he's around during the climactic last moments of Krypton is worrying. And I know Jason Aaron is not above doing that.
Dude, with that movie coming out and the way they showcased Crypto in that trailer, they better not kill that dog. They better
Yeah.
not kill
He'll
it.
be in the main series. Absolutely doesn't matter. Separate.
They better not kill Crypto. Nobody wants to see that. Yeah, this was a revelation. I said I thought people were sleeping on this book. I said I thought that it would blow people's socks off. This is a phenomenal issue. Double green flags for me. Probably my second favorite issue of the Absolute books overall. This was fucking great.
Yeah, this was a strong pull for me. It was one other book that eked it out for pick of the week, but I think this is picking up the momentum necessary. I think this is becoming my second favorite of the Absolute.
I'm curious to see what your pick of the week is now, though, because this was mine. So poll pick of the week is for me as well.
Marco, what's your favorite Absolute book then? Batman? Right, okay. I think I'm there with you. Wonder Woman needs to do something.
Yeah, it's still exciting, but it needs to do something a little more different.
Yeah. And I feel like they've kind of been doing the flashback thing in the margins, so we've been getting that. I don't know if I need a flashback dedicated issue. I just need them to fucking blow the roof off that series.
Blow the roof off that kaiju.
Hell yeah. James Jones said, wait, Sean green flags for Superman. It's death. I'm not going to red flag it.
You might have to. That's customary on Krypton.
Well, hey, I ain't on Krypton. I'm right here with you guys, right here on Earth.
Sean says,
I'm happy to be that.
When in Greece, do as whatever I want to do.
That's right. Matt Sure dropped another $4.99 on us, said, you are the comics pals. You always have all the answers. And yes, that was me on Solid Monster. Long live Stone Cold. I knew it was you, dude. That's why I asked. I knew it was you. I saw Matt Fisher on another channel, a channel that I'm a big fan of, Solid Monster Sounds Off, about wrestling, and I saw him there.
On it or in the chat?
He gave a super chat, actually.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Very cool. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. I want to see what you guys are saying about this book. So 41% say pull, 38% say pick of the week, 17 say didn't buy or read, and 2% said pass. I'm willing to bet that some amount of that didn't buy/read is due to the problems with Diamond. Well, actually, no.
No, not
It might
this
not
week.
be due to the problems with Diamond.
This
a lot
week
of
was a
people have
little
been
weird.
saying they're
Yeah.
having problems.
This week was a little weird because some shops put out books on like Monday. They're like, just come get your books.
Right, because some shops weren't even open yesterday, so
Yep.
maybe like the flow of that was kind of broken.
Yeah. But if you check our Discord server, a lot of people still saying they're struggling to get their books from Diamond. I very much sympathize with you. That sucks. Stay vigilant. That's what I say. Stay vigilant. Your store is not the reason.
Feel free to write them a strongly worded letter. Send it in the mail. Full of glitter.
Let's hit some comments. Marowak Escuro says, I think this universe is Martha and John Kent are his actual Kryptonian parents, but older. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's just a theory, but I could see that being where they're going. Lucas Holner said, this channel has quickly become my favorite channel in a year of watching. Also up for Raw on Netflix. Dude, have you checked out what Netflix has done so far? On Wednesday, they dropped like 5 or 6 brand new shows dedicated to WWE. Super exciting, super fun stuff. If you're a wrestling fan and you're excited for the Raw on Netflix, there's a lot to check out over there.
You got Big E hosting like a Raw, like best of Raw kind of show, right?
Yeah, I was watching that.
New
That
Day
shit
was right.
cool.
Damn.
Very, very awesome.
Go
ahead.
Might tune in. That's it. Give me a
Oh,
reason. Might give me a reason. I don't gotta pay for anything else. So
Travis Scott is performing in the first episode of Raw on Monday. So
that doesn't help.
no, it didn't.
no, you actually turned me away.
Comic Book History says, is every 4th issue in the Absolute title, well, an origin story? Well, this is issue 3. So no, I think with Batman, Nick Dragotta needed a break issue, and Snyder found a very elegant way to handle that. They're bringing on a tremendous artist, Gabriel Walta, and they're going to do Batman Year One in one issue. So that just happens to be the case for that one. And I gotta say, I love the fact that they're not doing like I wouldn't want a protracted origin like over 6 issues or anything like that. Like, get it done.
Like that works here for Superman. We're kind of being fed throughout multiple issues the origin because it's so different. But like Batman's origin, it had the pages it needed. And
Yeah.
we get
Yep.
little snippets of it here in every issue so far, but they use the pages to their advantage.
The flashbacks
Totally.
to their advantage.
Steve Canara says I didn't get a copy due to Shop not getting DC this week. That's what I was talking about. So there
Wow.
you go. Yep.
Damn.
Gage says, was it not Fornes who was supposed to do it? No, I'm almost 100% sure it's Gabriel Waltz.
Yeah,
I
you're
am
right.
100% sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snyder did say there will be other guest stars down the line. I don't know if he said Fornes would be one of them, but this issue 4 is Walter.
I'm not to say that I wouldn't love to see Fornes dip his toe into that water. It just happens to not be right now. So patreon.com/the comics pals. Quick plug for that. It is the new year, so if you are feeling newly generous, that is the best way to support us. Super chats are open, as you've seen from our boy Matt Fisher, who's always very, very generous with us here. I want to say a huge shout out and thank you to all of the channel members that we have. I see so many of you in the chat, channel members, patrons that I know. You guys that I've talked to every single one of you at some point or another. So thank you guys so much for that. Watch our Pally Awards. We did that on Saturday. We did our big awards show, which was very fun. Awards for all kinds of different categories. I think you guys will have a good time with that. Cale was there, so if you've been one of the people missing Cale, that'll be your one glimpse of him for the foreseeable future. And we just generally had a fantastic time. So check that out if you have not watched it. This Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern, we will be doing the main show. We're going to do a lot of stuff. One of the things we are going to do is our New Year's resolutions, and I've got one that I think will surprise a lot of you. So definitely tune in for that as well.
Sean will be reading all of Avengers and X-Men that he didn't get to last year.
Catching up.
That would be that's how you would know I was replaced by
A
a
Skrull.
Scroll, yeah. Oh, ancient bit returning.
Yes.
Cool.
Six Slayer Station says, I passed on Absolute Superman. Just copped issue 1. Well, brother, I got to tell you, I think you should definitely catch up. It's only 3 issues, and this is the best one yet. It's good to see that the book is getting better and better. That's what I wanted to see, and it is happening. So
I'd argue none of the Absolute books are declining in quality, so they're all on an upward trajectory.
And you know what? I'll go even further than what Tyler just said, and I don't think we've seen the best of any of them yet.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into Batman. Before we get into Batman, Matt Fisher dropping another $4.99 on us. Last WWE thing, I swear, the New Day has extended their career by at least 5 years with the turn. Dude, I couldn't agree more. I've seen people say this is the worst thing they've ever done. Blah, blah, blah. Miss me with all that. This makes them actually watchable. The New Day has had ice cold heat for years, and now they finally found a path forward, even without Big E, although I contend he might be in the Rumble.
I think too soon to bring that back, but maybe next year.
We'll see. We will see. All right, Batman 156. This is written by Chip Zdarsky with art by, and come on, man, if this doesn't put a smile on your face.
Dude, I know. I was waiting for this to talk about this, yeah.
Art by Tony Daniel, bro. With colors by Tamu Murray, letters by Clayton Cowles. And before we say anything else, because I don't know what you guys are going to say about the quality of the issue itself, right? But I want to talk about Tony Daniel. I love Tony Daniel. He's one of the best Batman artists, in my opinion, of the last 20 years. I'm always so excited to see him. I remember being so hyped when he took over the main Batman book after Morrison as writer and artist for a beat.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that was super cool, and I'm really, really happy that he's back here.
Where has he been? He did Noctera with Steiner,
Noctera.
right?
Yeah,
Is Noctera still happening? Is that still going on?
I think it finished.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, because I haven't seen him in a while. I'm with you, Sean. Tony Daniel just was the artist on Batman when I started reading.
It was
And seeing
Detective Comics, right?
well, he did some of Morrison's Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that. Was it R.A.P.? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like sitting in your favorite chair again. You know, it's like, oh, this is comfy.
Yep.
And especially the color choices here, and this is Moray on colors. Where like I feel like anytime I see Tony Daniel Batman, there's always like reds involved with the background and stuff. And there's that one. It's not a full page, but it's like probably 2/3 of the page where Batman's just laying a punch on a dude, and it's just like, oh yeah, that's Tony Daniel. That's Tony S. fucking Daniel right there. This was almost my pick just for Tony Daniel, to be honest.
I was in that same place, man. You said like your happy chair, your comfy chair. I totally felt that same way. It's like, oh, we're in good hands. You know, not that anybody's been a slouch on the art side of things. It's just a different thing when Tony Daniel steps in. So, let's talk about the actual issue though, the story. Everything's falling apart in Gotham, which is amazing because I thought everything just fell apart and then got rebuilt. But that's Gotham for you. What are you gonna do? Batman now realizes that the Riddler has been behind everything and he is chasing him down. So it's a series of, Riddler riddles leading to further revelations that kind of carry you through the issue as there are all these different things that we're learning. Uh, Chip Zdarsky doesn't have a lot of time left to bring things down because we are getting a new creative team very soon. So this did feel like a lot, but that was appropriate for an issue with the Riddler, where it's like secrets on secrets on secrets on revelations, and so that didn't bother me too much.
Yeah, it's quick paced, but I think to that point, as the dominoes fall, it felt like it had good momentum. Because you're right that there were a lot of things happening in the background, but we stayed grounded with the commissioner story, or rather with the Jim story, and Batman's just in a fury here, and everything else around him is happening that quickly, and so him being that propulsion as well, I think helped to kind of surround the story with that. Um, I've been down on the last couple issues. I didn't particularly like the twist last issue, but I think here it starts to pay off. It works. Some of the riddles got big old eye rolls for me, but I think otherwise the Jim giving Riddler a nice big punch, kind of beating him down, fucking Rhonda coming out of nowhere, and then him being the same guy, being the good guy, right? He says that he's gonna beat him within an inch of his life, but he takes him in, he books him, right? Like that's Jim. So I felt like the character got saved, because I really thought that they were sending Jim on a spiral, and so I had a good time with this one. And then now we're gonna lead into KG Beast. So yeah, it was cool.
Honestly, it was nice reading a Riddler story again, where he's not formidable, but he's at least active. You know,
Mm.
he's doing his Riddler shit again. Batman is kind of tired of his shit in this, which I also kind of enjoy. Where Batman like almost knows the riddles before Riddler's even done saying the riddles. And there's a bit of like this raid-esque fight through Wayne Tower or Enigma Tech. I thought that was fun. I thought this was a fun issue. I do feel the speed at which they're closing things up,
Yeah.
but I don't want to put down the creative team because I feel like there is clearly this last hurrah for Chip has clearly been editorially messy. That being said, I think he's doing a fine job with the ending. I don't know if KG Beast didn't really pop me that much. No offense. I'm not a big KG Beast fan. I don't think I've read a KG Beast story that was good. What is good KG Beast stuff like? Post Nightfall, you know, like Legends of the Batman books. It feels like a '90s character to me, but I don't know. At least it's something different, and the art was really good. So I did like this issue. This is a pull for me.
Yo, Commander Star, what a flop. Like, who cared? Nobody cared. You're gonna do a guy called Commander Star, right? He's gonna have like 5 lines throughout the entire run. He's completely irrelevant. Him and Batman never even had a proper face-off, which is
Yeah,
obviously because he's KG Beast. But like, what a dud revelation! Who gets up for KG Beast?
the Russians. But you're right. It feels like that's a whole beat that we're missing. Was more of that character,
Or
and
setup.
there was like, oh well, I have to close that thread. So let's just do it.
And then also tying the Court of Owls into Russia.
When
Nah,
did that
dude,
happen?
Yeah.
nah.
That was rough. That whole moment, and then where they just like descend and he's just clearing them out, and then we move past it. All right.
Not buying it.
Yeah.
I also think it's like we've sort of talked about Chip excavating other people's runs and digging stuff up, and this arc feels chock full of all of that. But this is one of those times where it's like you're excavating something that somebody else did. Scott Snyder obviously did the Court of Owls, and you're adding something that isn't additive at all. Like all it does is set up the KG Beast thing, and the Court of Owls doesn't feel like a stepping stone to the KG Beast. Like what?
But also like it felt very matter of fact. It's like, oh yeah, and the Court of Owls are hanging out with the Russians now. Like, okay, when did that happen? Where did that happen? Why did that happen? And none of that's
Right.
answered. Maybe it could answer it in the next one. Maybe. But the question is here, and I don't think it's answered properly.
I kind of hope they don't linger on it. Just forget the court, leave it alone. Just let KGB, rampage for a little second, and then let's close this out. Absolute Overthinker has become a VI pal. Thank you so much for 2 months. Saying in Mother Russia, riddle solves you. Thank you very much. It does indeed.
Yeah.
I think the only other the only other moment here for me that probably worked was the moment where he's talking to Koyuki, and she's like, Jim comes out. He's like, I'm free, Koyuki. I'm free. I'm it wasn't me. It actually wasn't. And then she's like, look, dude, fine, that's great and all, but this is my life. I was like, oh shit, okay, you know what? Hey, that's heavy. That's real. Yes, you entangled with this, but there were consequences. And it's made mention that he did actively have the affair, and then it was the Enigma tech that made him kill the husband. But I did like that as like a way to wrap up her story at the very least.
Yeah, that was fine. I'm with that. Jim's not innocent.
Yeah.
One other bit that I liked about this is that Jim still has the moves when it comes to being Batman. Like he's like, oh yeah, just let me have that utility belt real quick. It's like this dude is hitting pinpoint shots with those batarangs.
I was trying to remember just now. There was something I wanted to bring up, and you reminded me, so thank you. I love that. I love the fact that Jim Gordon still got it. He still knows how to sling those batarangs. He still knows the bat moves. And for those of us who were there during Snyder's run, we remember when Jim was Batman for a beat. To me, that was just as good
I love that stuff. Yeah.
everything else that Snyder did. Chip doesn't say it. Like, he doesn't linger on it. He's not driving the point. But if you know, you know. And I really loved that. That was cool as hell.
Super heavy, right?
Yes. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, good shit.
You know what? This is a pull for me, man. This was good. I thought this was a strong issue. I didn't love everything about it. But, I think Chip is ending the run on a high note, a higher note than a lot of other periods throughout this run. So, hats off. And it never hurts to see Tony Daniel.
Yeah, agreed. Pull.
Yep. Same for me.
Comic book history says, I feel like there's a fandom for KGBs. It's not me, but I feel like it's someone out there. Chip's whole run has been a carry on from New 52 Batman. Joker year one makes that clear. Feels that way.
Yeah, yeah. He's digging too much in the pockets though. Like, I think the biggest contribution, um, oh my god, I blanked on the name right now. The robot
Failsafe. Yeah.
failsafe. Um, and that was an effective tool. And I like when Zdarsky brings his own toys into these things. But you're dipping in the well a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Sir and R.
Six Slayer Station says, is the Zdarsky run the high point of Batman Volume 3? I mean, if Batman Volume 3 consists of Tom King, Joshua Williamson, James Tynion, and Zdarsky, I would say that Batman Volume 3 has been a mixed bag. Half of Tom King's run to me was pretty good. Uh, Joshua Williamson wasn't on it long enough to really say. Tynan's was hit or miss, but he did introduce a lot of characters people like. And Chip was uneven. So I'd have to give it to Tom King, but that's because it's been sort of all over the place quality wise.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a mixed bag. Huh. I like the Tynan stuff, to be honest. But
Yeah.
again, even that was a little back and forth.
Yeah, Batman Volume 3 is 2016 to now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Atomic Hound says, if you're wondering about KG Beast, go read Ted Knights of the Beast, a great Batman story by Jim Starlin and Jim Aparo. Okay.
Also, shout out to Atomic Hound, who, let me get the number, but
672nd.
672nd consecutive issue of Batman. Holy shit, that's off. That's amazing. Tremendous.
And you know what I love too? Atomic Hound has that level of, knowledge and readership, and he never lords it over anybody. I think that's pretty commendable. Because if I read 672 issues of something, you better damn well know nobody better question me. I know what I'm talking about.
And I think also it still has a good feeling about the character, about the book, because I'm sure over the course of that time, a reader can become cynical about it and be like, reflective of my time as opposed to the current time that they live in.
Yeah, definitely. Roger Hernandez, what's up, Roger? Says, I think when I read this, I was already in a big Batman mood since I had just read Hush for the first time the day before. Overall, I think it was great. Good. Glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. All right, let's move forward and let's talk about the poll winner of this week. So, unfortunately, Hyde Street didn't come out this week. If you watch Pal's Previews, which drops every single Monday, we did talk about that, but it was delayed. So we had to finagle things, and we added Sam Wilson, Captain America, to the pile since you guys, I think that was the second most voted on book. Go ahead.
It was a close one, but yeah, it was between that and Batgirl. Yeah.
Which I'm grateful for because I really wanted to read that anyway, and I would have read it anyway, so I just get to talk about it, which is nice. But this was the actual winner, was Justice League, The Atom Project, #1. This is the book that you guys chose in the poll. Now, the poll for this week is already up. It does have, I'm just going to run through it real quick, All New Venom #2, New Champions #1, Batman Dark Patterns #2, and Transformers #16. If it surprises you that Dark Patterns is on there, considering how high we were on it, it is because next week is massive and there just wasn't enough space. But if you want to make sure we read it, you go to youtube.com/thecomicspals under the community tab, cast your vote, and it very well may make it on the show. Right now, though, Transformers is winning.
Damn, all new champions getting fed to Transformers right now.
Bro, all new Venom #2? Come on, folks.
I want to check out New Champions, honestly. It's supposed to be a pretty interesting book.
We will see. Yeah, we will see. Well, we probably won't end up seeing on this show.
Yeah, based on the results so far, probably not. Yeah.
So, The Atom Project is co-written by Ryan Parrott, I think it's Parrott,
Bro, yeah.
with John Ridley. So, interesting team up there. Mike Perkins. Mike Perkins on the art. I was so glad to see Mike Perkins as ever. Then we also had Adriano Lucas on the colors, letters by Wes Abbott. So a very strong creative team for what I thought was a solid first issue. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, in the wake of Absolute Power, some people's powers are all over the place. They were released from the Amazobots, and they didn't go back necessarily to the person who had those powers before. And so essentially what the Atom Project is a group of heroes who are trying to get these powers back from these random citizens in many cases who now have them and put them where they belong. Figure out where they go, and stuff like that. And so they go and they encounter this child who has been bestowed these powers, and they have to get them from him. And so we kind of see the dynamic there. And we also see that Captain Atom, he's a little unstable, which I feel like is the rap on this guy. I don't know jack shit about him, but now we've had Jenny Sparks where he was a nut, and here he's a nut. So is he just a nut?
I cannot put my finger on Captain Atom. And there's a pretty fervent fan base for him. Anytime he shows up, you're like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, Captain Atom. I'm like, all right. You and your burner accounts.
Get hyped. This was my pick of the week.
Nice.
I like to wait until I get to the credits page to see who is on the art. I opened the first page. I'm like, damn, this is good. This kind of looks like Perkins. It got to the page. I was like, nailed it. Yes. Yep. Man, I had a lot of fun with this. The frame of Captain Atom being on the run and them having to get him, lock him down, because he's the key to helping these other humans who have erroneously gotten these powers, and they don't know what to do with them. There's a kid who gets electrical powers and he's just scared, and they have to wrangle him in. There are these moments of where you have to decide to what degree, to how far are you going with your science and potentially putting these people in harm's way. That I really like that. I like that as something weighing on both Ray and I'm forgetting the other Captain Atom at that point. But the overall the premise was strong, and it almost felt, I think in large part due to the art, like a Vertigo book, and there was a tinge of that for me, and I really appreciated it. So this was a stellar showing on all fronts. I'm enthralled with the characters and the dynamic. The sciencey superheroic bits feel like a good mix, and I just want to see how they look to solve this, because this feels ancillary to what's happening with Justice League, but it's just as important because it's still playing into the universe and what's going on at the moment.
I wasn't too hot on this issue. It's weird. I have trouble connecting to John Ridley art. I mean, John Ridley books, and I don't know what it is. Actually, I don't even know what he did and what Ryan Perot did in this. But this just didn't really hit for me. I had trouble knowing which Atom was what at any given point. Even with their costumes being different, a lot of the Mike Perkins art was shrouded in shadows, like it typically is. But I found it hard to distinguish which Atom is Atom. So that kind of took me out. I don't know Captain Atom's deal. And I just wasn't fully invested in this. I like Mike Perkins. I will say that. I think Mike Perkins is a great artist. I don't feel like he's the right fit for this. The Atoms are superheroics at their most, basic. These are guys that can shrink. It's classic Silver Agey stuff. And Captain Atom is also very Silver Agey. And the art muddies that typical feel of what DC superheroes should be in a book that's expressly talking about power sets and what are all these powers doing. And it feels like the art's just a little darker than the actual subject matter. Um, so that kind of took me out of it. And I think I like seeing Spicer paired with Perkins more, because Spicer likes to do things with color. Whereas when other people color Perkins, things get muddy for me, and I felt like this book felt a lot muddy throughout a lot of it. Um, so yeah, I wasn't too hot on this.
So this is one of three. I guess three is fair to say. Books that spin directly out of what happened in Absolute Power and All In Special. We have Challenges of the Unknown. We have this, and we have The Question All Along the Watchtower. They're all kind of dealing with things that have come directly after all that stuff. I love that. I think that's great. I appreciate that DC is bringing connectivity back to the universe because it's been missing. And I like the concept of this book. I just don't know if this first issue connected with me the way that I was hoping it would, but I'm not sure why. I don't care about the characters. That's a part of it. Go ahead, Tyler.
I think what might be why for me is that Mark Waid did it more compelling in the last issue of Justice League.
Hmm.
And I was given that, and I was almost expecting something similar, and it wasn't.
I can see that. I mean, like I like the for example, in this issue, there's a kid who's got these powers, right? And I like that whole sequence works great. I think the characters get to be heroic. We get to see them be heroic in a way that doesn't just involve punching people. I don't want to see them punch a kid, right? But they still have to get these powers from him. And so I thought that the way that they dealt with that was very great. It was more heroic than it would have been if they just had to punchy punch. And I really, really like Mike Perkins. I agree that I would have liked to have seen Spicer just because I think that they go together. It's it's Mike and Mike. What do you come on? But Adriano Lucas is no slouch. I'm I don't know if I care about the idea that Captain Atom is going rogue and where that might lead. Now, it could lead to a very interesting place. If they're going to do a heel turn, I am all about I'm all about that. I love it when heroes go bad if there's a good compelling reason and if they can build it up. But this is just one issue. So it sets things up that I could definitely like, but for this one single issue, it didn't all gel together in a way that I was in love. But this is solid comics to me.
Yeah. To that point on like how they dealt with the kid, where they ground him, he just explodes. It's so silly. But that felt serious, and I see what you're saying about like not yet knowing where it can lead, because if that place will even be meaningful at the end of it. I think I'm interested in the uh the last bit where okay, he has his powers now. What does that mean? And I feel like he's get does get represented as kind of being a little crazed. There's a bit of madness to him. And so I wonder how that will play out. I am interested by that end. But I can see how maybe that's not initially gripping enough because we also don't maybe we're not as familiar with Captain Atom. So like there's nothing to ground yourself to that.
How'd you guys feel about the timeline of the events that's shown to us? You know, we're in the past, we're in the present, then the past, and then back to the present.
That was a little much, I
Yeah,
thought.
I don't think it helped the storytelling at all. I thought it muddied up the storytelling as well. Because
I'm with you, yeah.
when it gets back to Captain Madam on the train, then it says like 3 weeks later or something like that, or like I don't think it told me that I was in a place that I wouldn't be in the whole book at the beginning. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found it a little confusing.
It certainly didn't help matters. And I hope that that is not the way that they're going to do things going forward. Like, I hope that was just that they did that for this issue and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I felt. I like the framing because I like that I didn't know I wasn't in the present because they do say 3 weeks earlier, and then they jump back into it. So I
Yeah.
like that it's like oh there's a difference here. Oh, he's on the run, but maybe he's just on a run, and then you realize oh he's on the run, but with his powers, so they were successful in something. Right? There's that missing bit there. So what was that success? How does that affect the kid, for example.
That kid's definitely dead, right?
Maybe, and that part's interesting to me.
Can I show you guys just real quick my favorite couple of pages here? Because this shit was cool as hell. This right here, just visually stunning. It's got Captain Adam. Like, I, I'm not even sure what's happening to him, but man, does it look fantastic. He's screaming in agony. You got the gorgeous reds there, and Mike Perkins. One of his greatest strengths. He's not a dynamic artist, in my opinion, but he will give you those big moments that feel big and that feel epic, and he chooses great shots. And I thought that was a really great shot.
Looks like he took a sensu bean.
I thought you were gonna say he looked like he was taking a shit.
If that's what it looks like, Sean, you need to work on your fiber intake.
You're not wrong, maybe. I'm gonna pull. I wasn't in love, but I definitely was in like. And this is something that I definitely want to see more of. So I will be here for issue 2.
This is gonna be a pass for me.
Ooh.
Wow, I had just a pull. Damn. Oh, interesting. Okay, good.
Wait,
good
you had
mix.
us at poll, so you have what you
I try to
think?
guess. Yeah, I try to guess what you
Damn,
guys are
you're
gonna do, and
gambling
then
with
I
yourself.
change. Yeah, and I change based on that.
You should always tell us when you're wrong, Marco.
Okay.
Not
How
I
just for
love
this,
that.
just in general.
Marcoswrong.com. I'm gonna start that website.
Yo, mean, set it up.
Oh man. Yeah, I will definitely be here to check out the next one. Did you have me as a poll, Marco?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Very good. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Roger Hernandez says a critique I've heard for this book's ending that I sort of agree with is I'm not too big a fan of the Justice League already working with the government this early on. Still really like this though. That's interesting because I kind of feel like um they need to, like, if they don't work with the government on some level, because it wasn't the government's fault what happened. It was Amanda Waller, right?
Mm.
So if they don't work with the government and they just go rogue, doesn't that validate what she said on some level?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Kind of just makes sense to use them when they need to use them. But meanwhile, the government, I guess, also at the same time, are too busy trying to kill off all the Amazons. So
Well, I also took it as like they're dealing with like people from who are on Earth, and so like there has to be some kind of oversight.
Yeah. I don't see a problem with that. I never quite understand it when people want these teams to be segregated from the government. Like, obviously they're not government employees, but they're protecting the earth. They should definitely interact with the governments of the nations that they are protecting, in
There
my
should
opinion.
be there should be a governor for the Watchtower.
Yeah. Charles Stewart III, I love that, says Captain Atom going rogue is definitely a nod to the Justice League Unlimited or Justice League animated series. Y'all definitely got to watch the entire thing. Please watch the entire Justice League Unlimited cartoon. Dude, I didn't get around to it in this past week. I really wanted to, but I will watch it. I don't know how many issues it is or episodes it is. I'm not committing to the whole thing, but did get some good recommendations. We got some super chatted recommendations. So I'm gonna at least watch those and see where the journey goes from there.
It's 3 seasons. Maybe like 12, 15 episodes.
Ah, it's fairly short then.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I'm surprised. What else do we have here? Cole says, I like this one. Felt like the start of a spy. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that? No, that is for this. Every all-in book has felt significant and additive to the story started in the special. I completely agree. And I did forget New Gods, comic book history says. So yeah, I am loving that. It reminds me of the days when like you would get an event like we had, obviously Civil War, and then out of that spun the Initiative, and it spun, the new Iron Man, agent, or Director of Shield, and all that stuff. Like, if you want to follow the story after, here's where you go. I love that.
Banksy Main says looks like those Captain Adam burner accounts voted this as pick of the week. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's only got 5% of the vote right now, so I don't know, man.
Oh, Cole, I agree with this. It was interesting to see Ray lie to the kid to jail him in the Watchtower, and Captain Atom challenges them with what gives Justice League the right to control powers. I wonder if when they will go too far. Yeah, that's an aspect that I found interesting that I want to see. Like, oh, he's trying to uh, he's trying to reassure the child, but at the same time, in the background, it's like, yo, what are you doing? Like we're not there yet.
That sequence I had to read twice because I couldn't tell who was the one doing the bad thing out of the Atoms. And I also just don't have enough familiarity with the Atoms to really know how they're expressly different outside of age.
The mask.
I am very excited to see where that storyline goes. Um, I just love where DC is at right now. Like, there's so many interesting things being seeded. We got some wrestling fans in the chat. I could totally see Captain Atom being like a Drew McIntyre type where he's definitely a douche, but everything he says is right on some level, and you get his point. Like, he made a good point. Why are you lying to to this kid, and why are we the arbiters of power? Is that not on some level of validation of what Amanda Waller was talking about?
Mm.
Like, did she not have some kind of a point? Which is why I was disappointed with how Green Arrow was handled. He should have been the guy to say that. And so either way, I'm excited to see how those beats progress. It's very cool. Comic Tropes joins us, says, is shrinking a good power? Dude, if I could shrink, I mean, what would I get to do? Like, okay, so first of all, I would skip lines. That's number one. I would definitely use my powers for evil. I would skip lines.
How does the
What
shrinking
else?
have you skip the line though?
Right. Yeah.
Because no one would notice that I was skipping the line. I would just be walking through like between their legs, and then I would pop up like, "Oh, I'm here."
Well, then you notice the guy just popped up. They're like, hey, who's that asshole?
Yeah.
What are they
the
gonna
fuck?
do about it?
Hey, get at the line. You
Dude,
weren't
if
here.
if I'm trying to get on a ride at Disney World, right, and I'm mini, I'm shrunken down.
Okay, wrong word to use in the context of Disney World, but sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough. I'm small, all right. I can just like walk through everybody. Nobody's gonna see me. I'll look like a roach, which horrified. I'm in Disney and there's roaches, and then when it's time to pop up, I'm just gonna pop up and be in the line, and I'll just get on the ride.
You're thinking too small. You can go in the ride. You can go where you're not supposed to.
I don't want to go in the ride.
You don't want to be It's a Small Sean and It's a Small World?
Sounds fun.
Yeah,
It-
exactly.
If I could shrink, I'd go into the fridge and see if that light turns on or not.
That's a good one. See, now Marco's thinking.
All right? Does it turn on? Is it always on?
That's so dumb, but it's so funny, and I would do that too. I'd want to do that too. But I don't know what else I would do if I could just randomly shrink. Like,
Isn't there a whole thing that used to be able to like shrink into phones and like use the
Yes.
phone lines to do it? But like, how do you do that with wireless phones now? It doesn't work that way.
You ride the electron.
The
or
airwaves? That's
whatever.
not their power set. Their power set is shrink. They cannot ride airwaves.
Well, there was what was that in
Technology
Dark-
outsmarted the atoms.
Dark Knight Strikes Again? He number 2. He
I don't trust Frank Miller to know how technology works.
the internet superhighway.
I love that phrase, by the way, because what the fuck does that mean?
They were
So
surfing the
silly.
web.
Surfing the web. Oh my god, I'm jacked in. Oh man, thanks Comics Tropes for hanging out with us. You guys definitely should check out Comics Tropes channel. I don't need to promote it. I'm sure everybody here is subscribed, but if you're not, you should be, because as far as I'm concerned, Comic Tropes has one of the greatest YouTube channels for comics that exists. So thank you, Comic Tropes, for fighting the good fight. I never it never ceases to amaze me. People like yourself, Sal, Omar, BJ, you guys get as big as you get fighting the good fight and not getting into the other stuff which we all know about. So I appreciate that. Charles Stewart says, Sean, my only recommendation episode for you to watch for the Justice League Unlimited series is Paradise Lost Part 1 and 2 and Starcrossed Part 1, 2, and 3. You got to give me some incentive, brother. Who's in it? What happened? Like, who am I going to see? Paradise Lost makes me think of Wonder Woman.
Amazon sounds like, yeah, that's supposed to be the show of the new Amazon show in James Gunn's universe.
Right. Steve Canara says 2025 Sean gets kicked out of Disney. Dude, I'm not gonna get kicked out of Disney. I'm tiny. Nobody's gonna know.
And then Jiminy Cricket pops out, right?
Oh my god.
Thought you could outsmart the mouse. Ain't gonna happen.
Oh my goodness. That's funny. Comic book history says, I'm wondering if I'm able to shrink while keeping parts bigger, asking for a friend. Oh my goodness.
Like your thumb.
Yeah, let's keep it there.
It's proportional shrinking. Everything shrinks, or nothing does.
It's like
You're not
it's
Mr.
like,
Fantastic.
It's like you were in the pool.
Banksy Main says, I let Sal know you guys picked him as guest of the year. He was happy to hear it and sends love. Oh, that's very nice. Would you do that on Monday? I didn't get to see the whole stream on Monday. That's very cool. All right, let's jump into Deadpool and Wolverine #1. This was written by Benjamin Percy with art by Joshua Cassara, who I feel like this is the week of me saying I was happy to see such and such artists. I love Joshua Cassara. Guru EFX on colors and Joe Sabino on the letters. If you happen to go to a movie theater this year or have Disney Plus, you probably saw Deadpool and Wolverine. And what, 5 months, 6 months later, Marvel gets out a Deadpool and Wolverine comic. I guess technically they did have Deadpool and Wolverine World War III. So this one though has a very like straightforward premise where Deadpool and Wolverine are teaming up unintentionally because of stuff that you don't know until we get into the later bits. The first early bits are really like Deadpool on a solo mission, encountering Wolverine, getting mind controlled by some such thing in his eye, and having a little adventure. I got to tell you, I really, really, really enjoyed this.
Nice.
I thought
Yeah.
this was a lot of fun. It didn't have the. My worry with a Deadpool book is always Deadpool. Like, how annoying is he going to be? Not annoying at all here.
Pretty quiet for most of the for most of the issue, honestly.
That was my issue with this issue.
No.
Like, because Deadpool is mind controlled 75% of the issue, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you, if you're writing Deadpool Wolverine, wouldn't you want to write Deadpool?
But see, I like that because it gave Wolverine even a reason to be like, okay, hold on, something's going on here. I don't understand what this is, and it lets him join in on the adventure because otherwise, you'd get a sequence where, oh, why are you doing this? Let's fight. Let's duke it out. He's like, no, hold on, that's weird. Let me tag along. That worked as a premise to just have him join the adventure.
I was happy that Deadpool was a little bit, he was the merc without the mouth, because that will send me away. And I know that this is probably not a mini. I don't know the exact link, but I have a suspicion it's not a mini. So we're gonna get enough Deadpool in the future. I like my Deadpool quiet and dangerous, and that is what we got here. I like the relationship between Wolverine and Deadpool when that's the case, and they bounce off each other nicely, and I'm sure we'll continue to see that expanded upon. Can anybody tell me though? I need to know. Can anybody tell me the difference between this comic book, which has a parental advisory, okay, and Wolverine Revenge Red Band or anything Red Band? Can anybody tell me, please?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of blood in this one.
A price point is the difference.
You're right. I can't show pages from this book because it's bloody. Oh, YouTube will get my ass if I show them.
There's literally a corpse that gets thrown into a helicopter.
Sliced up, dude.
Heads getting exploded off, eyeballs getting stabbed, body stabbed up. It's a very bloody book. But I think Benjamin Percy is a great candidate to write something like this. He had a great run with Wolverine. He seems to have a handle on Deadpool. So I really appreciated Benjamin's involvement in this. I think this is a perfect book for him. And dude, for some reason, I don't even like Wolverine that much, but I pop whenever I see a Wolverine supporting character. Like I don't know what it is, but in this issue we get Maverick. I like
Oh yeah.
Maverick.
All right,
Hell yeah.
so write that down. Sean doesn't pop. KG Beast pops. Maverick.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Because who's KG Beast? I don't
Who's
I don't care
Maverick?
about who is Maverick, but you know
Yeah,
what?
true.
He's here now and he looks cool and I like him. And every time I see these guys, I get hyped. I don't know.
Isn't Maverick? Oh, every time Maverick shows up, he's always a sellout.
Yes. Yeah.
He's just
I
a
love that.
sellsword scumbag.
Well,
Hell yeah.
that's his whole like the first arc I want to say of the Benjamin Percy Wolverine is just that. He's like they're trying to recuperate his arm or something like that, and Maverick's just on the other side. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing? We used to be boys." He's like, "We're still boys, but this guy's paying me." You know, like it's cool. I love
Dirtbag.
that framing. So I popped hard when I saw Maverick.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I mean, Wolverine looks great. Deadpool looks great. The Kasara art is like pitch perfect.
I love Joshua Cassara. Big fan of his stuff. He showed up. He did a Fortnite loading screen at one point. I was like, "Holy shit, it's Joshua Cassara!" But seeing him on this book is like made for him. His skill set just works perfectly for the stuff that's happening in this book. It's violent, it's gory, it's goofy. Everyone gets to look a little exaggerated because it's Deadpool, it's Wolverine, which plays to his strengths.
Yeah. I like the outlines, the inks in this. Like everywhere, things are a little scratchy. The backgrounds, you know, he kind of uses hashes to get shades across, even on the faces. Yeah, the art was stellar, and I think even dynamic in moments. You know, the moments of like the snicks, the stabbing. There's fluidity in all this stuff. So I really liked the energy that he brought to the book.
Yeah. And I also want to say the colors are on point too. The Guru colors are fantastic. Like the yellow and blue of Wolverine just looks so crisp and gorgeous. Deadpool looks phenomenal. Like these characters really feel uh, I mean, it's weird to say they feel authentic. It's obviously a Marvel comic, but they just look so good. I had a blast with this, and then the ending. You know, we get the executioner. Deadpool is somehow under some kind of a mind control, and he considers himself an executioner. There are these costumes for him, Maverick and Wolverine that they're supposed to put on. Wolverine obviously doesn't do that. Deadpool just flies away with a fucking rocket, and he ends up meeting with Strife of all characters.
There goes our time slide checklist of future events that may happen.
Oh yeah.
Strife was listed in there. That happened quickly. Champions is next week. They're knocking at that list in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Yo, actually though, Q1 first round of books. Yeah, that moment with Strife popping off, like they're leaning into a lot of like these 90s characters, which seems fun. In a new context, because we're kind of like looking back at them as opposed to experiencing them at the time, where I think retrospectively they can seem goofy and over the top, but they're being taken here seriously. And so I saw that and I immediately Googled the character. And I'm like, oh cool, this is actually pretty neat. They're repurposing.
Mm. Yeah, and I think a lot of these characters, like, they don't get that much play. Like, you don't see Maverick, you don't really see Strife like that. So I appreciate when it's, hey, here are these characters that could use an appearance, and maybe they'll pop you if you have some knowledge, but if you don't, it's not offensive, and it won't be the same people you see all the time. It's not the carousel of the Joker, Riddler, the Batman type carousel. So I was appreciative of that. I'm always happy to see Strife.
We're gonna get Ajax and Cyber up next, right?
We just got Cyber.
Oh
we
yeah,
got
that's in the Ahmed. Is it Ahmed that's doing Wolverine right now?
Yeah. So I was very happy with that. I want to see what's my man's name? Somebody help me. The Wolverine clone who he fights in. There's a very disturbing video game.
Romulus?
Is it
Oh no,
Romulus?
Albert.
Albert, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bring my man Albert back.
Albert was in the oh, was it not Hellions? It was a tie-in to Dark Web, and it was like the Dark X-Men. It was the Goblin Queen's X-Men.
That makes perfect
Yeah,
sense.
Albert was in that.
I didn't read that, but that makes absolutely perfect sense.
Oh, Dark X-Men?
Did you guys see the Frank Miller cover for this?
Yeah.
No.
It's on the stream now. People are like oh, what is this? I like it. I think it's good. But
Whoa.
I refuse to criticize Frank Miller's current art. I'm very happy that he's still getting paid to do these covers, and I know that there are people who love what he does. So hats off.
I saw some people in the chat asking about Maverick's power set. He can absorb kinetic energy, and then shoot that back out.
so it's a bishop, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
White Bishop.
Basically.
This is the other side of the chessboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this 2 green flags. It is an easy pull. I had a blast with this. Any like concerns or doubts that I had about this series going into it were erased. Like, this doesn't just feel like a movie tie-in. It feels fun. Benjamin Percy is very skilled. Joshua Cassara is a beast. Everybody did a great job. I cannot wait for the second issue.
I'm glad this wasn't just like, oh look, the TVA is showing up. You know, it's what I wanted out of like what Ben Percy and Cassara could do. For me, it wasn't like a huge, dynamite hit, but it's a fine book. It's a good read.
Yo, this was going to be my pick of the week had it not. I saved Adam Projects for last. Had it not been for that book, this would have been pick of the week.
Wow. Over Superman.
Over Superman. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Very good. What did you guys think? I'm getting the poll up now, so make sure you guys vote on what you thought about this particular issue. While we read some comments, let's see what you guys have to say. Lucas Hallner said this was almost my pick of the week, and the bar scene gave me flashbacks. The scene in the movie a month ago, almost my pick of the week, which surprised me because I'm already reading Deadpool. Yeah, there was that the scene in the bar did give me slight flashbacks, but it's not the same. It plays out differently, and again, it's fun, so I didn't mind. And a scene in a bar in a Wolverine comic is like
Par for the course.
Likely place for him to be.
right.
It's where he starts. His adventures always start in a bar.
Yeah.
I mean, same.
What else? Comic Trope says I'm in the minority, but I kind of like that Miller is doing whatever he wants and going impressionistic. Do you like, hate, or are ambivalent? Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like I just don't. Artists evolve. They change, and I don't need to buy it. This isn't for me. But I know, like I said, I know there are people who love it, and hats off to him for continuing to do what he wants, because him doing what he wants changed the industry.
And art is a physical thing. Writing is a physical in terms of brain capacity and stuff, but art is physical. I think of like Howard Porter. His art style completely changed because of an accident, but it's still good, and it was good before, and it's good now. It's just very different. Frank Miller's an old guy. The fact that he's able to still even put out covers pretty frequently, like there's at least like 2 a month I see that he's doing. It's good. And it's just nice to see that that we can still get art from him.
Yeah, agreed.
Definitely. What else? Near says, I like that he's happy doing whatever he wants, but I don't like it, not for me. Then he follows up and says, never mind, the cover is kind of growing on me a little bit. I see the vision. There you go.
It is a looker.
Yeah.
You kind of stare at it a little bit and be like, man, Wolverine's kind of packing some Canadian heat down there. And
Whoa.
and his helmet's a little janky, but
Contrasting the colors there, they're on opposite sides. It works. Oh, that was one thing I wanted to bring up. The trade dressing for this and like that opening page where the credits are. I really like that. Very, very small detail, subtle, but I like it's separated by the colors. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with that. I was like, oh shit. Like I stopped and just kind of like looked at it.
It's branding,
So
baby. Yeah.
shout out to that. That was good.
You better
Yeah,
like it
that's
because
actually sick.
you know we're getting a Deadpool Wolverine 2 in the film, so they're not letting Jackman die.
Yeah, it's hard to avoid that money, 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 man. Absolutely. All right. Let's end the poll and see what you guys had to say about this issue. There we go. Oh boy. A lot of you did not buy or read this. A lot of you didn't buy or read this. Did the results pop up for any of you? Because my
Yeah,
okay, here we go.
yeah, I got
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
So didn't buy / read with 40%, poll with 36, pass with 20, and pick of the week at 3%.
Why are we not buying this? What happened? You guys not into it? Didn't get
Get
your
it.
Marvel books? Which again, big problem this week. It's been a problem for the last few weeks now. People not being able to get their stuff. I say this is a buy. You know, if you've got the ability. Let's get into the Ultimates. Ultimates number 8. This is written by Dennis Camp, my guy. My guy. We gotta get him on this channel. What's it gonna take? What is it gonna take?
I sent a pigeon his way. I'm hoping that works.
Hopefully.
Dennis Camp, Juan Frigeri on art, Federico Blee on the colors, letters by Travis Lanham. This issue introduces us to the absolute Guardians of the Galaxy, which is not something that I was dying to see, but
Yeah.
sure, why not? Why can't we have that? It consists of it's a bit of an eclectic group. You've got Captain Marvel, who is not Carol Danvers, I don't think. We've got the Ultimate Nullifier as a character. That's interesting. Star-Lord, who is definitely not Peter Quill. He is someone completely different. Cosmo Starstalker. So Cosmo the dog, but has got a cool last name to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they arrive essentially here in the Ultimate Universe. They've come to scoop up America Chavez, who is a member of their team, but she doesn't remember that. She doesn't remember being a part of their group. And apparently her and Captain Marvel were lovers at a time, for a time. And so, you know, they come and they tell her like, hey, these are all the adventures we had together. These are all the things that we've done. Don't you want to be with us? And she's like, nah, I've got a mission here. I've got things to do here. A lot of this issue is giving us the rundown of the Guardians and what they've done. There is a quick fight between the Guardians and the Ultimates. I enjoyed the issue, but it felt very unnecessary. Like all the other issues of Ultimates that have added new characters have done really dynamic and meaningful things with them. And this just felt like, hey, look at all these adventures that they had that you're not going to get to experience or see. And I don't care too much for that. Like, it was cool, but I didn't need it.
This was a fun issue, and probably the most comic booky of Ultimates books issues so far. But it did feel more like just a love letter to Cosmic Marvel than really contributing to the main threads of what's happening. Like Dennis Camp's busting out, you know, like Charlie 23 and all those, you know, the crystal guy whose name I always forget. Like the original Guardians that are showing up in here, kind of showing off, you know, all those different planets and like the whole bit with Cosmo being the last dog on Earth before the dogs left Earth and they transcended as higher beings.
That was so funny.
He's the last good boy or something like that. Like it was fun. This is really fun stuff. But I did feel like it's like, all right, this almost feels like a backdoor pilot for something that we don't have. Because even the Guardians are like, yeah, just call us when you need us. So eventually they will be back, you know, at the end of a Marvel movie. The Guardians of the Galaxy will return. That's how I felt with this. And it's like, okay, then I don't think this built up America enough to really justify all of that. And everyone else doesn't really get any screen time. Besides, there is a good bit with Star-Lord and Doom, Reed Richards, where Star-Lord kind of like pulls himself through the TV. I don't know what Star Wars power set is in this. It's weird. It's funky. but he pulls himself to the TV and he's like, "Oh, it's you, the Iron Man and the guy in the Iron Lung, um, and one of you will be the savior, one of you will be the destroyer." And then like that's the last thing you want to put into Reed Richards' head. That dude overthinks everything. So now that he knows that, my bro is gonna spiral, and that's good character work there. And that was like 3 pages maybe. So I thought that was good, but all in all, I just felt it was not the most necessary detour, but I at least had fun with it.
Yeah. It I appreciated the context for the cosmic side. Like there were some cool sequences, and cool, I think, freezing. Planet Hulk trying to hold back reality with their bare hands. The bloating of Galactus. The all that stuff there were cool visuals, but we're not gonna sit with that. So it's like things that exist in this world that we won't see again, and I there are moments here where I'm like, oh man, I wish we could go here. I wish we could visit this planet. I wish we could, see the celestial or something. And so, um, I think it felt very uh prophet, the image book, like oh, it's identifying this space creature, it's identifying this world, and it's giving labels to things. And so for me, I like when books can do that, but this is grounded in the alternate Marvel. And so it was just cool to see these changes and these differences. Yeah, it similarly didn't light me on fire. I finished reading this. I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna be the guy's pick of the week, because uh, it it did work, but I still feel like I'm standing still.
Yeah, yeah. Like they got their asses kicked by the Hulk, and that was phenomenal. And then we had sort of a breather issue last issue, and then this one is kind of another deviation. I want them to get back on a path. This didn't feel like that at all. Don't get me wrong; it's very good. The dialogue is as strong as it always is. There's nothing like wrong with it. It's just not going anywhere right now, and that's what's kind of bugging me. But you guys know my series of the year overall, all comics last year was this. So I have nothing but faith in this creative team to deliver the goods. And there were great moments. Like, dude, we got introduced to a brand new character. Did you guys catch it? We have, for the first time ever, someone who may, I mean, listen, this could be the next star of a Marvel movie. Gary.
Oh my god,
That was good. Yeah.
that got me.
Gary. My man Gary with the Infinity Gauntlet is one of the greatest heroes here, and I hope we get to see more of him. I love this line. Our most powerful members, Captain Universe, Starbrand, Molecule Boy, Gerald the Phoenix, and even Gary. I love that. Even Gary,
Yeah.
wielder of the Infinity Gauntlet, struggle to maintain the integrity of the ship, of a present without past or future. Great.
Paul is going to show up to recruit Gary for the team of single named men.
See, now if Dennis Camp had balls, this wouldn't be Gary. It'd be Paul.
Oh my god. And even Paul.
And even Paul.
Well, maybe it's Ultimate Paul.
The ultimate Paul. Oh my god, I love it a lot. Yeah, I mean, I definitely still pull this. I still think it's strong. And I'm sure we're gonna see them again, the Ultimate Guardians. The biggest thing I think though is what Tyler talked about, which is what does this encounter do for Doom? And we see him at the end. He's taking a look at Tony, who is still, in the hyperbaric time chamber, trying to get trying to get back to himself. What is going to happen? And I love this page. This is a great page because you can see he's got his hand on the chamber, and you see Doom looking at him, and then just underneath that, 10 months remaining. It feels like a warning. It feels like a warning. Like something with these two will happen when that 10 months is up.
Okay, I see that. They're intertwined, and this is that is the timeline for their entanglement.
Yeah, I don't think it ends well between those two.
We got the little teaser about that Maker War too. The Unmaker is what he was called. He's called in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, they reference that here.
Yep.
Yep. This is a pull, a strong issue. Not my favorite of the bunch, but for like 7 issues in a row, this was my, pick of the week or whatever. So I am very excited for the future of this series.
Yeah, nice of Ultimates to just like take it back a bit to allow other people to have the pick of the week. Very
Pump the brakes a
cordial.
little bit. You want to
Yeah,
give everybody
exactly,
else
yeah.
a chance. Yeah, fighting chance. Yeah, pull for me as well.
Awesome.
Same for me.
Awesome. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Comic Book History says, just going back to camp, the man. Did everyone see on Twitter how he was saying people sent? Yes. Yeah, we saw that. It's awful. It's terrible. People should really chill the fuck out and get a grip on life because there is no need for the kinds of things that Dennis Camp is enduring for writing comics. But unfortunately, it's par for the course because people are insane, and the world is run by people who are insane. So, I wish Dennis Camp and his family well, and that's all I have to say about that. What else? Cole says it was cool to see Kang's army from the future fighting the Guardians. We last saw them in Ultimate Invasion. More foreshadowing. Yeah. Yep.
And that army is very original Ultimates coded. Yeah.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Like the Giant Man's there, and that Thor is clearly hippie Thor.
Comics Trope says Commander Poop Browner was also introduced. I mean, that's a great thing. Like, we should all poop browner, shouldn't we? It's a sign of health, is it not?
Sean, you've been talking about a lot of fecal movements.
You have. Comic Trope brought up Poop Browner, and earlier you tied something I said to poop. I didn't say it.
You said somebody was taking a shit. I said he just took a sensu bean.
I said he looked like.
Okay.
All right, I guess I did bring it up.
Yeah.
But I said he looked like. Oh my goodness.
Izzy's issue says cross-dimensional council of pals. One has the unit power, one has the Infinity Gauntlet, and one is a herald, all of whom have an MJ.
Well, I like the idea that we all have MJs. You guys know how I feel about that. But who gets what power? Oh, of Paul's. I thought you said of pals.
No, of Paul.
Okay,
Council
of Paul's.
Yeah.
All right, yes. Okay, I'm with that. I'm with that. For what it's worth, though, I'll take the gauntlet.
I'll be a herald. Make way.
What do I got left over?
The uni power.
Sure, even though I have to pluck mine usually most of the time. Already got it.
Lucas Hallner says, Sean, stop with Paul. If we stop talking about him, he will slowly go away. But see, I don't want Paul to go away.
I actually enjoy Paul.
Yeah, can't.
It's a breath of fresh air for MJ.
The joke became a reality for me. At first, I was like, who the fuck is Paul? But then the more I thought about him and the more I saw him, I was like, Paul is Paul. That's all we need to know. I'm down with him.
And last thing, sorry, we didn't call out some of the art moments, but Gary's just doing great work representing all of these aspects and elements of Cosmic Marvel and Cosmic Ultimate Marvel. So just a big shout out because the bloating scene, that's in my brain now, man.
You look like a boomer from Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
That was nasty. Let's end the poll and see how you guys felt about this issue. 54% of you say pull. That's very appropriate. Pick of the week, 19%. Didn't buy/read is 16%. And pass is 9%. So a large majority of you into this. That's great to see. I think everybody should be reading the Ultimates. I believe it's the best comic in comics. Roger Hernandez said, to put it simply, Paul is.
Yes, sir.
He is. I'm with you. You know who else is? Sam Wilson is Captain America in Sam Wilson, Captain America #1. Another book written by a duo, which I think is interesting. This time it was Greg Pak with Evan Narcisse, them teaming up here, with art by Valentine Delandro and Eater Messias. Colors by Fernando Cifuentes, letters by Joe Caramagna. Now, you want to talk about a movie tie-in. This issue has Sam Wilson as Cap, which is fine. Red Hulk, for some reason.
The other one, the other Red Hulk.
The other, you got the other white meat or whatever. This is the other Red Hulk. It has Sam Wilson's extended family, which I feel like was introduced in the Falcon Winter Soldier TV show. It's got Patriot. It's got the original the first Black Captain America. It's got all of that. And I think what I got out of this was a book that I mostly enjoyed, despite the fact that I don't think I need to come back for more. So I really like the scene where they go to the cookout. I love the cookout, and I love the fact that Steve Rogers is welcome to the cookout. He was the only white bread at the cookout.
You notice who wasn't allowed? Dagger. Cloak was going solo to that one.
That's nuts. That is nuts. But of course, that was done just to get over the fact that Captain America is that man. And by the way, if I were throwing a cookout, Steve Rogers would be the first person from the Marvel Universe that I would invite who doesn't share my skin tone.
Let him bring his cold ass pasta salad or whatever.
Nah, don't even bring food, bro.
Okay, just bring the shield. Just bring the shield. Yeah.
Please.
I'm gonna hold it. I want to hold it. I want to play with it. That's it.
Throw the shield around with the kids. Do
Yeah.
something fun. Be a party favor, but don't bring no food.
Go long.
Like I really liked the way that they were celebrating Captain Bradley. I thought all that was great. I love to see stuff like that. It just had a feel good environment and vibe. That if the whole issue was that, I'd have been fine. Them wanting to meet Storm. It felt like the way that women in our world want to meet like Beyonce or Taylor Swift. Like she's a superstar in this world. And I thought that was super cool. But then whenever Sam went to deal with all that other stuff where his cousin was trying to get this business popping and they were teaming up with that company, I was just like, I don't care about any of this.
Yeah.
I'm exactly with you. Yeah, it lost all steam for me. Was that his sister or his cousin?
His cousin, no?
They were both in the book, but it was his cousin that was trying to do the business deal.
That cousin was annoying. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, chill. This is the symbol of America. You can't be a corporate symbol. Like, I feel like it's easy to understand. Can it?
Bro, it felt like yo, cosign this loan with me.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm not going to the dealership with you.
Yeah,
Which happens in the Falcon Winter Soldier show, by the way, that where his sister wants him to co-sign a loan.
That's
so they
right.
kind of cribbed that.
Yeah. I mean, that moment slowed it down for me. Honestly, the intro bit with the vampires, took me out for a second. And then I had to like settle back into.
Took you out immediately.
Yeah, dude. I opened that first. I'm like, vampires. All right. And then there's this moment where he's fighting. He's like, sorry to disappoint, but I'm just a regular dude. Punches a vampire. And then the guy behind him goes, social worker, actually. I'm just like, bro, what? You're telling me who this guy is? All right, fine. I get it. You gotta get that in there. But like, slow down, man. Let me enjoy the fight for a second. And then it's just like, now you won't mess with. I was like, that's right. Stay downtown with that mess. It's like, you didn't beat them. You just sent them down for Daredevil to deal with that shit now.
Yeah, the dialogue there was a little weak, actually.
Things were clunky.
Yeah.
I felt like a lot of this issue was clunky. I think the bit too where like Sam, like towards the end of the issue, where Sam is fighting those like pterodactyl drone things, and immediately reveals the villain's plan, and he just shows his hand immediately. I'm like, whoa, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Is this a 3-issue miniseries? Like, well, that was way too quick.
It felt like they needed to validate the Red Hulk being on the cover, so they just needed to get him in this issue, even though he literally does nothing and is on one page.
Bro, frame one reveal, dude. Like,
it's not even the right Red Hulk on the cover. Like, this Red Hulk is notorious for having the mustache.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I feel like they kind of sold us a a bait and switch because that's not Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, yeah. There's multiple covers too. That is the mustache-less Hulk.
uh, and I thought it was a little like telegraphed. You know, the business tech guy, his little side wavy hair. I'm like, all right, fine, yeah, okay, cool. Like, when are we getting to the? You know, is it gonna be next issue, bro? Second to last, third to last page or something. This thing happened quick. This pulled me out pretty fast. Yeah, I don't. I'm not interested in coming back to this. This was actually a pass.
Damn. I yeah, like I'll be honest, I had fun reading this up until they got to that like whatever that was called, the Sky Dream. Um that was just like, okay, this is whatever. Everything that's going to happen is transparent, and nothing here is, not the writing or the art is strong enough for me to care about this. I simply cannot.
Yeah, this even the backup was cute, but like I was already checked out from the story before I even got to the backup. It's a pass for me. It wasn't my bag.
Uh, I gotta pass too. And it sucks because I was actually really happy that we were able to talk about this book today, but I didn't get anything out of it. I expected with a creative team this strong, like, okay, this is gonna hit. But it feels like an MCU tie-in book because of all the things we referenced.
That opening
Yeah.
dialogue felt like a little golden book, if anything,
What's that?
like a children's
Golden
book,
Ah,
like with the golden spine thing. It felt like a
okay.
tie-in, like a Captain America Brave New World golden book tie-in.
if one of you guys said this, I apologize. But did you guys think that the one vampire looked like Apocalypse? Like
No.
it just looked like
Oh
they're beating the
yeah,
shit out of
yeah.
Apocalypse.
Huh.
Why do the vampires gotta look like this? Can't we just go back to the old Count Dracula look? Like that's so much cooler.
Varney.
Like I follow this
Yeah.
one guy on TikTok. He's got autism, and his special interest is Count Dracula, and he dresses in like the full, Bela Lugosi outfit. I'm like, that shit's cool. There's
Huh.
just pale orcs.
Um, I was surprised because Greg Pak, Evan Narcisse, I feel like have had stronger showings.
Of course they have. Greg Pak is a legend.
Here's my
Yes.
thing though. Greg Pak hasn't hit for me in like a decade.
Hmm.
Like I think Greg Pak did great stuff with Hulk and some stuff after that, but like since then, it feels like they always put him on like these kind of books they need to put out to tie in with something or for some other kind of agenda. Like Agents of Atlas was cool, but there was a clear MO there. They needed to reintroduce these characters from Marvel's Asian divisions, like the Korean manga and stuff, into the mainline books, and he did that.
Yeah.
But the most those characters did become pretty decent Marvel snap cards. Like, I like Greg Pak, and he's a good dude, but like his stuff at Marvel hasn't really hit with me.
I'm gonna pass. I just didn't get enough out of this to recommend it or to continue forward. I had fun, but not enough fun. And it looks like I kind of feel like the fun that I had is not gonna be in the rest of this series. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna continue to show cookouts and shit like that. It's gonna go to whatever action garbage. So I pass. Yeah, I'm not with it.
Yeah.
What'd you guys have to say though? What are you guys feeling? Comic Trope says all we want to know is if Cap and Hulk kiss in this issue or not. Well, uh, you're gonna have to buy the next issue to find that out because this is as close as they get, and it don't look like either one of them has smoochies on the brain,
Hey,
but
sometimes foreplay can be a little aggressive, but we'll
that's
see.
true. That is true.
You both passed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got those two wrong. Damn.
Oh.
You could've-
Charles Stewart says hot tea, but I honestly hate the mustache. Fair enough.
Looked a little silly, but I kind of dug it for the fact that it was silly.
That
Cole
character, I was gonna say that character is actually a lot of fun. It's an Al Ewing creation, I believe. It was from Al Ewing's U.S. Avengers run, which like that was like where American Kaiju shows up and stuff. It's he's a bonkers guy. He's a little more unhinged, but he's fun.
Well, that answers the question I was going to read from Cole, who said since when was there more than one Red Hulk? So there you go. Lucas Hallner says loved Pac on Vader, but this wasn't it. Not everybody bats 100, unfortunately. Charles Stewart says, do you think this is purely creative driven or was this from editorial? Listen here, buddy. There is a 0.0 chance that Evan Narcisse and Greg Pak called Marvel and said, I've got an idea for a Sam Wilson Captain America book that's going to have the Red Hulk. We just cannot tell this story without the Red Hulk, right?
Here's the thing, too. At Marvel Comics, most books are editorially driven. Most of them are they approach writers with like, hey, what do you have for this character?
And not to say that there's anything inherently wrong with that,
Yeah,
but this is one of those times where I think Greg Pak, when motivated, I think Evan Narcisse, when motivated, can do great stuff. I just feel like this was more of like kind of a cash grab thing, and they were the higher guns.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work. I mean, we just talked about Deadpool and Wolverine. Would there be a Deadpool and Wolverine book right now if it weren't for the movie? Probably not. But they got Ben Percy, who wrote both of those characters. I mean, at least he wrote Wolverine extensively.
Yep.
So that makes sense.
Good angle, good narrative. So yeah.
Yeah. Cole says, I hope Percy and Jeff Shaw Red Hulk book coming up is good. I really hope so too. But I don't need a Red Hulk book.
Style so serious. Feige stamped and mandated.
I'm with you, Sean, but Jeff Shaw on a Hulk book is tempting. Sure. It's tempting.
It's gonna get read. It's definitely gonna get read.
It already is. It's in the title. It's Red Hulk. You walked into that one, Sean. Sorry. It's like a Sideshow Bob stepping on a rake.
Comic Trope says best Marvel character mustache is El Diablo, who sucks chemicals out of his stash to get his powers. What does that even mean? He sucks chemicals out of his stash?
He's got like a Snidely Whiplash kind of thing, and he's got purple and green in his costume, so you know he's bad. Fantastic Four villain.
Is it like when you get some ribs and you eat the ribs and like the sauce gets in your stash, so you do one of those and you lick your stash?
I can't grow facial hair. I'm sorry, I don't know what this is like.
All right, well, Marco, well, not you either. Anybody in the chat understand?
Marco eats his ribs with a fork and knife.
Ooh, let me get the cutlery.
To be fair, I eat wings with a fork and knife sometimes. So,
nah, you're wrong.
That's bugged out.
I've learned how to clean a wing now properly, just like with a pole. So I'm growing out of it.
Marco was in this weird mode a few years ago where he was eating, if I remember correctly, he was eating popcorn with chopsticks. Is that accurate, Marco?
Raisins.
Raisins, yes.
I still do it.
You're wrong at the fact that you're eating raisins alone. Like you stopped. You
raisins are delicious.
Bro, my Christmas Eve involved my mom accidentally feeding the family dog raisins because she thought it was like, she was like, oh, and I'm like, Mom, how many raisins? She's like, oh, a couple. So the whole night was like, all right, how do we make this dog throw up? Oh, this dog's poisoned. Oh, Christmas gift might be a dead dog. No. Dog was fine. It was only like 4 raisins, but my mom didn't know they were toxic. I'm like, yeah, grapes too. Which is funny. She used to feed our family dog growing up like tons of grapes, and the dog lived to like 18. So Jesus. Could just be liberal propaganda.
That is unbelievable. Sig Slayer Station asks us, what is the best Marvel title these days? I'm a DC guy. All right, let's see if we can rattle off 3 Marvel books apiece for Sig Slayer. I got Ultimates, I got Immortal Thor, and I got Avengers versus Aliens.
Oh.
I'm going to go Ultimates. Did you say Fantastic Four as well, Sean? Okay, I'll say Fantastic Four. And Phoenix. I like Phoenix a lot.
I'm going to say Exceptional X-Men. Try to do ones you didn't do. Namor. And what else? Ultimate X-Men. That's come back for me.
Man, I'm gonna catch up for that with that. I think I'm gonna get that
I've been
again.
having fun, dude.
Yeah.
I think I where what was the last issue you read?
The one after what we stopped reading on the show.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's been like 3 or 4
There's
issues
3 or
since
4,
then.
that I'm behind on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peach Momoko just showed that she's coming out with some Marvel Rival skins, and I was like, oh, I do like Peach. Let me read more. And so it's on my want. They're leaked. They're not confirmed, but they're leaked. So
Lucas Hallner brings up Uncanny X-Men. You're definitely right. Uncanny X-Men is it's in the conversation, but it's just like right now it's just caught up in that raid on Gray Malkin and just don't care about any of that. So I needed to go. I'm waiting for the Gavin Guidry issue. That's gonna be my issue. When he gets on that and we get to see him draw Gambit for the first time in comics, I think that's gonna be exciting. So
And to the Peach Momoko shout out, Comic Strips, who is in the chat, interviewed Peach for the channel a couple weeks ago. I went to see that. Yeah, dude, you get to see the process. She's working in the background and stuff.
uh this I don't mean any offense by this, but did she have her translator?
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
okay, all right. That's awesome then. That's sick. That's
Real
pretty cool.
Real cool. Subtitles too for anybody who's interested. So
Hell yeah. Tilo throws out Fantastic Four, Ultimate Spider-Man, and Storm. Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man. I mean, that made a lot of people's top list this year. Not mine, but I get it.
did you see what the top rated book of last year at League of Comic Geeks was?
I forget.
It was Boy Wonder,
Right.
the
yes,
Judy Ba Robin
right.
book. And I was like, oh fuck, all right, that might be a trade I pick up.
That's one of those I missed the boat on for no good reason at all. No good reason at all. I just said I'm not buying it, and then I didn't, and then I regretted it. So, but I don't do trades like that. So I don't know. It might just be a forever loss for me. We'll see. Promiscuous Time Traveler. What's up, PTT? Says, you know what I need? Another relaunch. You know what? Nobody needs another relaunch. We are good. 20. What do we get in 24? We got the G.I. Joe stuff, right?
Yep.
That was a relaunch. We got the Ultimate line, although I guess technically that was 23, but whatever. We got that. And we got Absolute. I'm good. Even Power Rangers relaunched. Even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
X-Men
yeah.
relaunched kind of with From the
From
Ashes.
the ashes. Yeah. No more. No more. Six Slayer Station comic book headquarters says, shameless plug. We just dropped a killer Jeff Johns interview today. Well, congratulations, brother. That is super cool. We've had Jeff on the channel a few times. He's a great guy. I'm happy for you. I might just have to check that out because I always love to listen to Jeff Johns talk. So, all right. We've got one last thing to do here. You guys know how we end Pals Pulls with the stack. Sean Stack, there's a segment we do because I buy a lot of comics and it's a new year, so I'm trying to do better and I need your guys' help. I went through an ordeal to get this week's comics. Yesterday, I couldn't make it early. The shop opened at 12, which was a little too late for me. I tried to go about a couple hours earlier than that, but they weren't open. So I went later on. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go. It's after 5. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get my books. 5:30. I jump on the train. I get down there. By the way, send your numbers in. Whoever's the closest without going over. You can get any of the Marvel codes from today or no prize, whatever you want. So start getting those numbers in. But I get to my shop, right? And I go, I'm about to walk up the steps, and one of the workers is standing by the door, and I think nothing of it. So I grab it and try to get in, and he's like, "Oh, we're closed." And I'm like, I go, "What? No!" Audibly, he heard me say this. Now, we're in New York. We're in a very populated area of New York, and things happen down there. So I don't know if this guy thought that I was going to pull out the machete. I don't know if he thought I was going to pull a Luigi. I don't know what he thought, right? But I realize that now I'm that guy because I just yelled that out in the street. So I quickly turned my ass around and went home. Mind you, I've been sick as a dog. Mind you, it's cold, all right? I got the fuck out of Dodge. Okay, it didn't go my way. So I go back today. I'm going to get my comics. All right. So I get there bright and early. I got to my comic shop. I want to say it was about 10:30. All right. I'm ready. I pull on that door. It don't even open.
Ka-dunk.
It does not open. They are not open. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? So I look at their schedule and come to find out on Thursdays, they open at 11
Oof.
a.m., not 10. Go ahead.
So you obviously went to Margaritaville and started getting day drunk.
I thought, no, you're joking. I thought about going to Margaritaville.
I love Margaritaville, dude.
Me too, dude. Whenever I go to Universal Studios, City Walk,
Oh, dude, you gotta get a cheeseburger in paradise.
I can't eat cheese, but I definitely do get that hamburger.
Yeah.
I love it. But I didn't do that. What I did was I walked around for a half an hour, which, listen, comic book readers, all of us together, we understand what we're like. We need to walk. So I got my steps in. But when I tell you that I saw, this, again, 10:30 in the morning, okay? I saw Mickey Mouse. I saw Spider-Man. I saw fucking what's it, the Cookie Monster. I saw all these motherfuckers walking around, but they're not wearing their masks. So it's like this random dude,
Headless?
headless.
Mickey Mouse. Yeah, that's what you saw. Yeah.
Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse.
And they're trying to talk to little kids. Do you know how horrifying it is if you're 5 years old and you see Spider-Man, who you love so much, you think it's Tom Holland, and it ain't. You're not encountering Spider-Man.
A Spider-Man.
Yeah, right. When you see a Spider-Man and it ain't Miles, it tends to throw you off.
Different
And
kind
then
of Puerto Rican.
adjacent to that, so I walked right past that because I don't like that shit. But I walked right past that, and I see a poor soul, all right? An individual who doesn't know what is about to happen to him. He has been stopped by one of those people who's trying to sell their CD, their album, and I heard the guy say this verbatim. The guy who was trying to sell, he said, "Hey, bro, this is how I get my music off. This is how I get my music off." He was pressing him to buy the album. But what they do is they give you the album. They're like, "Hey, here," right? And then they make you buy it and they charge you $20. When was the last time you spent $20 on music?
My favorite thing of, and this was at New York Comic Con, it was like a little Midwestern white family that comes by, and a guy goes, hands them the CD and says, "You support black people, right?" I was like, the family stopped. I think I saw them pulling out their wallets too. I was like, they do support.
They get got.
Oh, that's so good.
They get got every time. I see it every time. It always works.
And
Always
then you got
works.
like the monks with the beads.
No, the beads. Yeah, yeah.
Don't talk to me about those monks. I fucking hate those monks.
You sound like
I
my
am-
healers in the back line when Iron Fist shows up.
I am like, I am very nice and respectful to people that I encounter in public and everything else, okay? I will always disrespect those monks if they approach me. I hate them. But what I hate is that you're taking something that's genuine to people, their religion. I'm not a religious man, but I hate when people take religion and they pervert it to try to make money. Those aren't real monks. Those motherfuckers ain't real. They are bullshit, and I think it's wrong that they do that. So that I don't like at all. If you get got by the dude trying to sell his rap album, that's on you. But when you're selling religion like that and you're trying to stiff people, that rubs me the wrong way. That I don't like. Anyway, that's my story. I was able to get my comics. I went back, after my little walk. I got my books, and all is well in the world. So there you go.
Damn, dude, getting pressed by everybody.
What are the numbers looking like? What do we see?
You got, let's see, starting with, damn, and people are on to the fact that it's a double week for you, Sean.
And so we'll start with James Jones, right? I think James Jones right away.
Yeah.
33 on Sean's 2-week holiday stack.
That's great. That's like at least 15, 16 per week. Hey, math's not bad there.
Numbers that spells disaster for you. All right, so Nier with 23 for the stack. Rami with 15. PTT with 43. Whoa. Hope not. Hope not. Cole with 28. Roger Hernandez with 13. Rami with a 32. Roger changed his because he forgot it was double week. Went with 20 instead. Comic book history with 18. We got we got Showmonger talking about Luigi. Yeah, okay, yep, that's wrapped. All right.
It looks like comic book history changed to 23.
Yeah. And then the next number is Prince to get time travel with. He'll say you'll buy a mixtape for $20. So. Oh, and he also wants to change the number from 43 to 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson. So,
If you'll buy my mixtape for $20, I will send you my Cash App, and I will send you a mixtape. I will send it to you. Yeah, I have them.
It's this episode in audio form.
Full
it's a
album.
compilation. It's a Comics Pals compilation disc.
It's all the features, and there's just the interviews.
Oh my goodness. Comic Trope says the craziest thing about Times Square is how many character duplicates there are. If one family gets a Mickey Mouse photo, 3 other Mickeys are always run in to get in on the photo. It's so true. There were duplicates in the pack that I was watching. Like, you should at least coordinate. Why are you the same? Why are there 3 Spider-Men? And none of them are wearing a different costume.
That's me watching No Way Home.
Look, they're part of the Spider-Verse. I'm there. I'm immersed.
Yeah, there's no Mickey-verse yet, so that the Spider-Verse at least somewhat makes sense.
Rami Darwish says never paid a cent in Times Square. That's because you're not a tourist, bro. They don't. I feel like for me, and it's very rarely happened, but anytime that one of those weirdos approaches me, I'm always like, I'm not a tourist. And I keep walking. You're not going to get me. I don't want to go to a comedy show. I don't want to take a picture with Mickey. I don't want to buy your mixtape. I don't want to buy your stupid monk tchotchke shit you're selling. I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't speak English. I keep walking.
You say it in English?
I say that's my favorite every time. They say, yo, pay for this. Sorry, I don't speak English. Truck. Keep it going. Keep it moving. All right, fine.
With perfect English.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't speak English.
Keep going.
That's a dick move, but I love it. I'm here for that.
Nier says you didn't see El Superman, Sean?
I didn't. And you know why I didn't? Because there's no mask to wear. Well, I guess you. Ugh.
No.
Was Optimum Prime there?
No. And then they have those fucking 90s. What are those fanny packs, dude? They have the fanny packs.
Whoa! Don't hate on the fanny pack.
Why is Mickey Mouse walking around with a fanny pack on?
For cheese, for that cheddar. You know what I mean, Sean? That cheddar.
That's so scary. Like you're just walking around. You see Spider-Man. Hey, give me money. And then you go, okay, fine. And then you give him $1 or whatever you give him, and he opens a fanny pack. Spider-Man doesn't wear a fanny pack.
I hope in the next Spider-Verse movie they add one of those guys in there.
Rami says, why are there topless ladies in the middle of December in front of the Disney store? The same reason why Spider-Man and Mickey Mouse are there. And I've seen them. I know exactly what you're talking about. Charles Stewart said, dude, those fanny packs make me feel so embarrassed.
I have like 3 fanny packs. What's with this fanny pack?
Yo, fanny packs are coming back.
Yeah. You don't necessarily need to wear it in like the fupa area, but you can.
Yeah.
But where do you wear
across?
it?
Yeah, crossbody bag.
I've got a crossbody bag, but I would never wear it as a fanny pack. What do I look like?
Oh, I think when you go to the zoo, you're allowed to wear it as a fanny pack. That's the rules.
I don't know.
Pure
if I go to the zoo,
dad
I want
mode.
free the animals.
Eco-terrorist over here.
All right, let's get to it. We've got the 6 books you guys know about, and some of you did catch on. So I'm glad that you did, I guess, to the fact that this is, in fact, a double week. It may be the biggest stack other than the Stokoa that we've ever done. So let's see what we've got here. I'm not going to run through all the ones that, here, Superman 21. You already heard my thoughts on that. Mystique number 3. We've got X-Force number 7. I love this variant. This was literally the last one that they had. It's Psylocke and Rachel Summers together. The Power Fantasy number 5. I hope I didn't double buy that. 6. Power Fantasy number 6. Power Fantasy number 7. It's Psylocke and Rachel Summers together. The Power Fantasy number 5. I hope I didn't double buy that. 7. Power Fantasy number 8. It's Psylocke and Rachel Summers together. The Power Fantasy number 9. It's Psylocke and Rachel Summers together. The Power Fantasy number 10. It's Psylocke and Rachel Summers together. The Power Fantasy number 11. It's Psylocke and Rachel Summers together. The Power Fantasy number 12. It's Psylocke and Rachel Summers together. The Power Fantasy number 13. It's Psylocke and Rachel Summers together. The Power Fantasy number 14. It's Psylocke and Rachel Summers together. The Power Fantasy number 15. It's Psylocke and Rachel Summers together. The Power Fantasy number 16. It's Psy Batgirl number 3.
Great cover on that one.
Hell yeah. Absolute Wonder Woman number 3. I had to get this cover. Atomic Hound showed me that he had gotten it, and I was like, I gotta
That's
get like my
cool.
Who
man.
that
Who's
is?
that?
I thought it was Panosian, but it's probably not, right? Let's see. See if I can
I
find
don't
the
think it's
cover
Panosian.
credit.
No,
Sorry?
I don't think that's Panosian. Panosians are different, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There are several people credited for alternate covers, so I'm not sure. Birds of Prey number 17. Batman: The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween number 4. This one has
Damn.
Cliff Chang,
Mm-hmm.
Dave Stewart.
Ooh, okay.
Detective Comics number 1092. I said I wouldn't, but I did. Two-Face number 2. How
Ah,
could I not buy the second issue of Two-Face?
first one was all right.
But it's the second issue of Two-Face.
When you can't buy you can't just buy 3 because that's an odd number. You're gonna have to go to
Yeah.
4 then.
No, what I
then-
have to do is skip 3.
We'll see.
JSA number 3.
I'm very excited to read that one.
Me too, yeah. Saga number 71.
That's
have
just
no
habit at
idea
this
what's-
point, right?
Yeah, I'm like 5 issues behind already.
I'm much more behind than you are.
Same, dude. The second
I'm a year
or third
behind
issue
at
that came
least.
back.
Yeah.
Metamorpho number 1.
Hey,
Hornsby and Halo number 2. Red Coat number 8.
have you been liking that?
So I said it earlier in the show a month ago. Red Coat 7 was phenomenal.
Mm.
So that brought me back, on the train, so to speak.
Okay.
Ultimate Black Panther number 11. Void Rivals number 15. Exceptional X-Men number 4.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Spider-Man 64. I said I dropped this. I can't. It's Spider-Man. I gotta buy it. I gotta. Especially knowing that we're not out of the Joe Kelly era. It's like, well, I might as well. Hellhunters number 1. I'm so excited to read this. And Geiger number 9, but I'm not sure if this was if I was supposed to buy this, like in the sense that like was this new? I don't even know, but I bought it. So that's it.
I have 21.
Did you
plus
add-
the
Oof.
six plus the 6 that we read, right?
I got 28.
Holy.
I have 27 total.
Yeah, I have 28 total, but one of us is off by a number.
All right, so 6. I'll just quickly count 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 27.
Okay.
Damn. That is the highest. That is the most you've ever bought.
Woo!
Confirmed.
Cole with
On
a
the show.
Yeah. Oh, Cole went over. He went to 28. Damn, busted by going over there.
Who was closest?
Comic book history at the moment with 23.
Technically, Cole's closest if we're not going by Price is Right rules.
Nope. That's how it is. You can't
Yes,
go
he
over.
He went over.
So comic book history with 23.
Yeah.
that's really
Looks like
cool.
it.
Awesome. Congratulations. If you want any of these codes for the Marvel books, feel free to hit me up on Discord and I will get that to you. And I've got obviously I have a huge stack here. So if anybody wants anything, just reach out on Discord and I'll do my best to get it to you. Near says near one. Question
Near-
mark.
Did he do a change somewhere? Let's see. Hold on. Let's see.
Near.
I'm able to see 23.
Near had
said
23. I
yeah.
see it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. And you were first. Okay.
Yep. So near in fact does one.
He was near.
It does win, excuse me. So yeah, both of you guys can reach out. Near, I'll get you whatever you want first, and then comic book history, whatever you want after. No problem.
Yeah. Nice. And Rami, I have considered it in my tracker. I'm actually gonna probably do a post later showing some updates because off the back of what you said, as well as Hackathon, I've made some edits, some additional formulas there. In one of the issues, I think it was the Deadpool Wolverine issue, there was a moment in like one of the in between pages where you see mention of Exceptional X-Men being the gentler, kinder book. Did anyone come across that?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Let me see if I find it. All that to say, they were making comments on all of the new X-Men book that have been coming out, and it came across as that one as being very popular. They're going to continue the series. They were talking, I forget which editor, but they were just breaking out which editors are going where and doing what.
Oh, I know you're talking about those pages where they say like, oh, my favorite is
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Comic book history says a friend of mine had his watch stolen in New York. When he spoke to a cop, the cop answered, "Welcome to New York." What is that meant to mean? Do your job. He did his job. The cop was trolling, dude. Cops in New York protect billionaires. Okay, they went on a manhunt, a multi-state manhunt. Okay, if your friend gets his watch stolen from him, he's lucky that the cop didn't steal something else from him or beat his ass and throw him in prison for resisting.
That was an act of terrorism. I don't know what you're talking about, Sean.
I'm just kidding, by the way. I don't have any problem with cops. Um, James Jones says, "Congrats, gentlemen. Sean showed too much control this week for me. I did. There were certain things I didn't buy. Like, for example, I didn't buy I didn't buy Timeless physically. I didn't want that shit. That ad, that $7
Yeah.
ad.
Was there something freeing about forgetting what came out last week, in a way, where like you don't have a pull list, so you're not obligated to get stuff that's already been pulled for you? This could be the benefit of a pull list in a weird situation like this, or
I
benefit
think I
of not
bought
having one. Yeah.
I think I bought everything I would have bought except Timeless.
Okay.
Like, I try to make sure that I always get what I would have gotten, but Timeless was just unjustifiable to me, unfortunately. Roger Hernandez says, once this stream ends, I'm gonna crack open my Gotham City Year One hardcover. Hell yeah, bro, enjoy that. That's awesome. I think you're gonna love it.
Sean, did you not buy Justice League Unlimited #2?
No, oh, I knew I forgot something. Oh,
There you go.
oh,
Pull list would have been nice.
I continue to suffer. Oh man. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. It's been a very, very fun time hanging out with you all. We had 80 of you here pretty consistently. Thank you so much for chilling with us. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. It's been great. We will see you next live on Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Going to be the first main show of the new year, guaranteed to be a blast. Hope to see you there.